Haikyuu, Battle of the Garbage Dump, is finally here in America, and I've been waiting on this one for a while. But is it worth the wait, or more specifically, the theatrical release? Now, I'm gonna split this up into two sections, my thoughts on the movie itself, and my opinion on whether or not this really works as a movie instead of a show. Let's go. So, simply put, the best thing about this is it's more Haikyuu. And I love Haikyuu. The characters are as endearing as ever, the action is hype, and the story makes me care way more about volleyball than I ever thought possible. It does a surprisingly good job of putting you in the character's shoes, making you feel things like Kenma's exhaustion and Hinata's frustration in a really real and visceral way. I won't spoil it, but there's an amazing POV shot towards the end that's just so overwhelming and left me absolutely floored. Suki and Hinata fans can rejoice, they both had so many great moments during this, and I'm happy to report I had a huge smile on my face the entire time. I should also mention that while the animation is really good, and it really makes you feel the impact of each spike, it is about the same quality as the show. Which is honestly probably for the best. I'm not really sure how much better it can get, and I don't want it looking weird by comparison. However, many were hoping that the budget would really spike with the theatrical release, and it doesn't really look like that was the case. Which brings me to my only real complaint. This shouldn't have been a movie. It's barely a movie now, it's more like 3 or 4 episodes of the show smushed together into an hour 20-minute runtime. The whole thing feels incredibly rushed, especially since the last match against Inarizaki got an entire 10 episodes. That's more than twice as long, despite having basically no build-up by comparison. And while that match did mostly focus on Tanaka and Kageyama, I can name at least one moment or cool mini character arc for every Karasuno player. And a lot of Inarizaki players. Things like Asahi's serves, Hinata's receives, Nishinoya's struggles with jump float receives. But now, some characters like Tanaka and Asahi barely get to speak at all. Which is really disappointing, because Nekoma actually has a really deep roster of characters that was largely underutilized. Tanaka and Yamamoto, Hinata and Lev, even Nishinoya and Yaku. 3 really fun and interesting character dynamics that were almost completely ignored. If your name's not Kenma, Hinata, Suki, or Kuro, then you're not really going to get anything to do. But on top of that, I just don't think the match itself really works that well as a movie. Package it as a huge theatrical event all you want, it's still mostly just a regular Haikyuu episode. I mean, it really makes sense on paper to turn the most hyped up match into a movie, but I just think it created unrealistic expectations that the match couldn't meet. Again, I loved this movie, but it's not really better or more significant than the Inarizaki or Shiratorizawa matches. Mostly because those had more time to set up character arcs and give everyone a chance to shine. The shortened runtime of a movie makes this even worse, since the other characters really get nothing to do, which makes it feel anticlimactic. I remember one time when Asahi spoke. I'm not particularly heartbroken by this, but I'm guessing there are some Asahi fans that were seriously disappointed. By packaging what really is a regular couple of episodes as a movie, it makes audiences expect more while kneecapping its ability to deliver by cutting the runtime. Don't get me wrong, I still had a fantastic time with this. Of course I did. Haikyuu is awesome. And I had a great theater experience. I'm just scared this is going to become a trend with shows, especially after this one made so much money. But mostly, I'm just worried about the next movie, which will serve as the real finale to the series. I don't know what happens next in the manga, but we don't even have any real build-up for their next opponent, so we'll probably feel even more rushed than this one. That's kind of terrifying. But let me know what you think. Thanks.